Hello and Happy New Year and welcome back to the channel. As you can see in the background, you can see the clouds are nice and gray again. It's actually sprinkling rain out here, so if you're wondering why I'm standing out here in the rain doing this video, it's because this year I've gotten more interested in weather, especially rain, as it's severely affected John's cotton and peanuts. So a lot of people have rain gauges in their backyards, but how accurate are these backyard rain gauges? So I started doing some research and decided to join the Community Collaborative Rain and Hail Snow Network. That way I could do some precise precipitation recording. So that's what today's video is about. And I just got my rain gauge in the mail yesterday, so that way I can start recording on January 1 of 2020 to accurately measure how much rain I have in my yard. Here's the rain gauge in the box, but before I open it up, I want to show you a couple of things, and I got this off the Peachtree City, Georgia National Weather Service website. I could not find this from the Jacksonville, Florida National Weather Service, which is closer to me. But I just want to talk a little bit about how rainfall and how it's affected Georgia over the years. So this is for Atlanta. And what I wanted to show you in each of these stations is for Atlanta, this year has had 38.6 inches of rain. But last year in 2018, they had 70.03 inches of rain. But averaging since 1996, Georgia's had the Atlanta weather station has had 49.71. Moving to Athens, Georgia, this year so far 40.57. Last year 69.26. The average for these last several years is 46 inches. Moving to the Macon weather station, this year so far 35.8. Last year 49.06 for an average of 45.68 for the last several years. And for Columbus, Georgia, get the papers unstuck here, is 40.91 so far this year, 66.43 last year, for an average of 46.75 for the last several years. So one thing you might wonder is why last year's precipitation was so high compared to this year's, and it's because of all the storms that we had, whether it be hurricanes or tropical storms last year that dumped a bunch of water. So between last year and this year, I've really got concerned about water. So let's take a moment now and let's open up the rain gauge and let's talk about it. So here we have the calibrated rain gauge, and I actually bought it from Weather Your Way, which was recommended from the Coca Ross system. And I'll provide a link to Coca Ross and all that in the description of this video, and also put a link up in the box. So let's get this open. It's a business card from the Weatherway people. Looks like the mounting bracket for the post. That's what they call an inner tube, and I'll also put a link to a YouTube video from the Coca Ross system that explains more about how this works in case I mess something up. But inside of it they have a paper report, but you can also do it computer driven, that way they get it in real time. Just a little info about the rain gauge itself, and then just a brochure that they've packed in it. I won't read it to you. You can go to the website and see how that works. But the what we got here in the bottom. Got mounting screws for the bracket to the post. So here we have the big container, or what they call the outer tube, and then we have what they call the inner tube, and the inner tube is what's calibrated. And you can see the difference between this and a normal rain gauge, as this really gets down to finite increments. So you see 1/10 of an inch in up until you get a total inch. So this inner tube only holds 1 inch of water. If it rains more than an inch, it spills out into this outer tube. And again, you can watch the video from Coca Ross and see how that works. But that's really all how it mounts. And they want you to check this every day at the same time if at all possible, and then record it on their website, so that way you've got accurate rain amounts, because this is supposedly a calibrated rain gauge. So your next question is if this inner tube right here only holds 1 inch of water, what happens if you have rain that is more than an inch? Well, let's find out. And again, I'm going to hook a video link up to this where you can watch it from the Coca Ross site itself. But let's go ahead and just fill this thing up. So I've overflowed the inner tube, and water is now pouring into the outer tube. Okay, so if I come out one morning to check the rain gauge, obviously you can see we have 1 inch of water there. So you can just pour that out, but remember you have that 1 inch of water. And probably be best to write it down. If you're like me, your memory will go bad. So then you'll just take the outer tube, put the funnel in the inner tube, Oop, I overflowed that a little bit, so see, I've already lost a trace amount of water, so you have to be careful doing that. So that's 2 inches of water. Well, that really done good, didn't it? Just don't pour so fast when it starts getting full. So that's 3 inches of water. So that's not quite 1.5 inches of rain. I can't remember the increments it in, so I'd have to go back to the directions, so we have to know that. But it's one mark before the half, so that's not quite 3.5 inches of not quite 3.5 inches of water. So that's how that's measured there, and that's all there is to it. But again, I'll hook up a link to the Coca Ross videos, and also a link to their website. So if you're interested in becoming a weather participation recorder in your own yard or at one of your fields, it is free to join the site. However, the rain gauge, because it's calibrated, actually is about $40, but it's that precise. So if that's something that interests you, look at those links, and I just wanted to share that with you today. And here's the finished product. I just got it mounted on a round post with just a backer board behind it. Got the top, up above the post, so don't have to worry about the post blocking rainwater. I've got it about 15 feet from the house. It's a low part of the roof, so don't have to worry about rainwater being prohibited by the roof, because 99% of our rain comes from that direction, which is a wide open front yard. So I've actually got it positioned right outside the garage door, so that way when I walk to my truck every morning I can just look at the rainwater. So that's all I have. If you like this video, give it that thumbs up. If you're new to our channel and not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. For the rest of you, just thank you for watching, and pray that God continues to bless you in 2020. And y'all take care, and see you next time.